Yeah, it's been a lot. So, oh God, I'm in the hospital right now. I'm in urgent care. This is scary. It's fucking terrifying. I don't want to be strong anymore. I'm really like, I'm really tired of being strong. So it's been a lot to process, and it's been really lonely. And it's been, I'm just, it's, hello and welcome back to A Sharper Life. I am your host, Nikki Sharp, and I'm just going to skip the intro and get straight into it. This episode is more for those of you who have been listening for a while, the OG Sharper Life fans, or if you've been with me on Instagram. This episode is kind of more for those of you who have been following along the journey. But also if you're just listening because you've seen my stories on Instagram and that I'm now having surgery on Monday and you're curious, WTF happened, then this is going to be an interesting one for you too. This episode is really kind of me just talking to you, sharing like pretty openly and vulnerably about what's been going on, but also bringing in some of the spiritual side of things. So if you've ever looked up Louise Hayes or Caroline Myss, it's Myss. Those are both some of my favorite spiritual kind of integrated teachers. So I'm going to be sharing about the body and how the body keeps score. And when we don't listen to the signs that our body or the universe is giving us, eventually we get knocked out. Anyways, I'm going to share more about it, but let's just start. Let's jump in. So I have a little bandage on my pinky finger. And it is now Friday as I record this. I have surgery. I thought I was going in today, but I have surgery on Monday. I have torn 2 tendons in my right hand pinky finger, and I have nerve damage. So my finger is basically numb. I can't bend it at all. And it's I knew something was up and serious. And yeah, I mean, God, you guys, it's been a really intense past kind of 96 hours. So as I was there today for the 3rd time in 3 days at Chelsea and Westminster Hospital. The last 2 days I went to urgent care. And then today I went to see the hand surgeon or like hand doctor in the, what's called the plastics unit. And he actually was really sweet. Not sweet. Well, he was a very kind doctor, but he said it was very good that I went to that hospital specifically because they have a entire department and ward for hand injuries in all of London. So I have never had a cast before. I've been very lucky in my life not to have any sort of accidents where I've never had a cast in my life. So on Monday, I'm going in for like a 1.5 hour surgery. And today, as he was telling me what they're going to be doing, I don't think it kind of registered in my brain until I got home and I did the thing you should never do. I Googled it. And yep, they're doing exactly what he told me, where they basically have to make the cut way, way bigger in order to repair the ligaments and everything. So I'm going to be in a cast that goes apparently up to my elbow for like a week and a sling. And then I'm going to be in a hand cast for the next few weeks. And he said what happens is it takes a month before the nerve starts to grow back. And then every day after a month, it grows by 1 millimeter. So it can take up to 6 months. I might never have full sensation again. So that's awesome. I'm feeling really great about that. This week has been such an intense one, but it's like my mind has had to process all of these different things and like mentally preparing for, I thought I was going in for surgery today. So I'm like, okay, Nikki, like, get yourself just like positive attitude. You got this, dress cozy. And then it's like, nope, okay, just kidding. And then on top of that, it's like I was just about to start offering online yoga classes because I've been getting a lot of requests for it. And I just signed up for a new gym. I got a yoga mat, and I felt really excited that I've moved, and I was just excited to get into a routine. And now the routine that I'm going to be going into is obviously different, but the universe is clearly telling me to slow the fudge-nuck down. But let's kind of take it from the start. So about a month and a half ago, I moved into this place, and it's been pretty intense trying to navigate the move, setting up utilities, just getting myself back on track. And then finding a couch, had to send the first one back. It wouldn't fit, finding another one. And it's been a lot and almost too much for my nervous system. And so I've found that I said this to a friend, I've felt very delicate and very fragile. Meaning like if you kind of touched me, I felt like glass, almost like the most thinly blown glass, or when like something freezes over, and it's like, yeah, I felt delicate that like I could break at any moment. But the challenge is that I don't have the opportunity. Like, I don't even want to say opportunity, but when people tell me like, oh, Nikki, you're so strong, it's like, I don't have an option not to be. I don't have anyone that comes and takes care of me. Like the fact that I'm going into surgery on Monday, a friend had asked like, oh, like, can your mom come? I'm like, no, like it's not like my dad doesn't even know that anything's up. My parents, and I love them, they're not really the most supportive in various ways. And so I've learned to just take care of myself, which is a double-edged sword because yeah, it makes it so that I can handle things that most people probably wouldn't. It also means that like, I'm just kind of used to just getting on with it. Like, get yourself to urgent care, Nikki. Like it's, and you'll laugh at the story when I had a towel wrapped around and it's all bloody and everything. And I'm mentally in my head being like, okay, pack your Kindle, pack an external charger. Okay, I need a cable. So getting the cable for that, making sure that I like I'm putting on my kind of cozy jumper so that in case I'm cold. So like in moments where probably most people go into panic, my brain goes into super, super calm. Anyways, through all of that, it's just things have been kind of adding up, and the exhaustion has been real. Now, at the same time, I've been doing things to try to slow down and actively like find a gym so that I can go into a consistent routine. I was going to start my detox. The long short of all of this is, as I said, I've already been at a level of being so exhausted that Wednesday, I can say, was probably one of the top 5 worst days of my life. And like that's, I'm not saying that, I don't know, even for myself, I'm like, really, Nikki? Like, are you sure? That's like a pretty big statement. And I look back at it and I'm like, it's not that the full day was so bad, but what was challenging is that I was putting my mindset into, okay, I'm going to be happy today. I'm going to focus on the positive. I'm going to edit the podcast that I did. I sit down, I spend an hour editing it, and I'm like, I can't use this, right? So now my mind is starting to spiral a little bit. I'm sitting in this hotel. I'm freezing cold. I get these emails from my dad. And this is like coming off of a message that he had written to me like a week or two ago, just a very highly criticizing message. And it's hard when anyone receives messages like that, especially from family, like when I'm already dealing with so much and then these emails. And so it's like one thing after another with my nervous system. And just a few more things happened throughout the day. I have a nice dinner. I'm feeling actually pretty grateful, but completely exhausted. And I'm washing up, and I was washing the knife, freak accident, and it sliced the inside of my pinky. So this is at about 9 p.m. I think that this happens. Now, it was the most horrendous pain that I've experienced. I'm not someone to say that lightly. Like, I've dealt with a lot of physical and emotional pain. And fun fact, the brain doesn't know the difference between physical and emotional pain. Like physical pain might sear up, right? To like, it's 1,000 times painful, but it doesn't last as long as emotional pain because we typically like suppress emotions. Anyways, I won't get into the science too much. So long story, long short is I grab the kitchen towel because it's bleeding heavily and I wrap it up, put pressure. So now I go into my bedroom and I'm sitting there in complete and utter shock. I go to ChatGPT and I'm like using my voice notes to be like, okay, what do I do? And it's like, keep it elevated, like. And so I eventually call my mom, who just said, wrap it up. Now, my intuition really kicked off, and this is something I'm very grateful for. And it's also the reminder for myself. And I'm saying this to remind you, like, our intuition and those gut instincts, when you have it, don't try to wait for the logic to come. Trust the gut and the logic will come afterwards. So after about an hour, I'm sitting there and it wasn't stopping bleeding. And I was starting to not be able to bend my finger, and I am the last person that wants to go to the hospital. I don't want to go to a doctor. I'm like, I can take care. I don't mean that like I can take care of myself, but I really know if there's something wrong with my body. And I know when it's serious, or I don't know, I'm very intuitive like that. But I then tell ChatGPT, that I'm like not able to bend the finger. And it was like, you need to go to the hospital. So I'm like, fuck. So I gather my stuff, get a bag together and go there. And I mean, I'm fucking terrified. Don't get me wrong on this. Now I show up and they get me in immediately. The guy takes the towel off and like, it's just dripping blood on the floor. And of course I'm just sitting there like in a complete state of shock. I'm crying. They bring me, like, there's blood all over my hand. They bring me in to do x-rays. And then I sit there in a hallway. Oh, this is hilarious, you guys. Like, WTF, I'm sitting there right before I got admitted. And there's a woman who comes and sits right next to me and opens a bag of chips. This is at like 10 o'clock at night, and starts like, like, imagine that's a chip. But like, she starts munching on like sour cream and onion chips. I'm not even joking, like 2 inches away from my face. And I'm like, universe, what sick joke is this? What are you doing? What's going on? So I'm like breathing through it. And I'm like starting to go through different waves of emotion, of fear and panic. And I'm feeling scared and I'm feeling alone. So now I'm sitting in the hallway. I'm trying to just like smile at the staff and shift my focus, because where focus goes, energy flows. If you're focused on the problem's going to get worse, meaning like it's going to get scarier and scarier. And then you're going to freak yourself out more. And in moments like that, I'm like, I need to keep my calm with me. Like there's no one else but me here. Like, so there's no point in losing my shit. So then about an hour and a half later go by and I ask, how long is this going to be? I've been here for a while. And they're like, there's 17 patients in front of you. So it's going to be 4 hours. And I make the decision to go home because I did not want to be there until 4 a.m. I was completely exhausted because I told you, like, I had already had a pretty shitty Wednesday. And so the nurse kind of wraps it up and says, I'm not a doctor. I can't see the bone. It doesn't look too, like, I'd seen two people at this point and they'd both said, it's like a pretty small cut, but it was right on the joint. And so she said, if you don't want to come back to A&E or urgent care, you could go to Parsons Green walk-in. So I come home. The next morning I wake up and the bandage is just completely blood soaked. And I'm like, that's not good. And I can't feel my fingers so much. So I go to the walk-in, I wait, and I'm again, like, doing stories, being like, okay, everything is good. And I'm going to stay positive. And you got to take care of yourself, Nikki. No one else is there to take care of you. And I'm also like getting really triggered at the same time because I told my mom at that point, like the night before, that I'd gone to urgent care, and she was like, okay, well, like, good luck. And then I said, okay, like, I'll keep you posted. And she had said, like, I'll call you on Sunday on our weekly walks that they, and so it really just, it made me feel very alone. And that even like the people closest to me, and this is kind of why I'm sharing this. People tell me, you're so strong, Nikki. And I'm like, I don't want to be. I genuinely don't want to be. And the frustrating thing is when I ask for help, or I even tell people, like, I'm in the hospital right now, I'm in urgent care, I don't get the same reaction that I think other people do. I think people are just so used to me taking care of myself that they're like, Nikki will be fine. Literally, that's like what all of my friends have said. I'm like, but I want to break down. I want to feel safe, to have someone hold me. Like, I don't want to be strong anymore. I'm really tired of being strong. I want to have someone where I just feel safe to say I'm fucking scared. And that's what I've not felt in the last year. And that's what's been really tough as well. Like, 2025 has kicked my ass, and I'm tired of having to take care of myself. And like, I don't want to be victim mentality here or anything, but it's just like, when do I get a break? And so the universe has kind of forced me into one, which is the irony of this all. But at the same time, it's like, here I am actually saying to people, like, I need help, or like, I'm not feeling okay, and I'm not getting a response. And even like when I had shared with a friend the next day, like, I thought about calling him, and there was no response from him being like, oh, like, I wish you would have, like, I would have been there for you. And I think that's the hardest part for me, is that I don't have, I will drop anything for those that I love and care for. And I don't really have that from the people that are close in my life. And so it really does make me evaluate, like, why do I give so much of my kindness to people? And that was a really big lesson that I learned as well. Like, I don't want to say that I've been too kind, but when push comes to shove and you're in moments like this where you're scared or terrified, and you don't have the same people that you're giving to, you can't ask something from, for me at least, like, it's really made me think, do I really want to be giving my time or energy to these people, my generosity, my kindness? So anyways, I told you, I went to the walk-in center, and they were like, we can't do anything. Like, we can't stitch you up if you need stitches. We can't see your x-ray. So she opened the thing up and washed it, and then said, you should probably go back to A&E urgent care, because I couldn't bend my finger. So now I'm back there. I see the long short of it basically is that I'm sitting there, and nobody's really saying anything to me, but it's very clear that something's not right. And I tried to write something, and I couldn't feel my pinky at all, and I couldn't write. And like, it set off alarm bells where I'm like, this is not right. This is not okay. Something is majorly wrong on this. And so finally, the guy gives me a tetanus shot, gives me antibiotics, or like it gives me a prescription and gets me an appointment to go see the hand surgeon for today. That was kind of it. Like, and so I'm sitting there in this back room going through this wave of emotions of the most amount of grief and sadness and loneliness. And I'm looking at this very kind of elderly woman, and I'm thinking of my own parents, and like, yeah, just like it's hard, and it's hard being an only child, and it's hard it's been a lot. Yeah, it's been a lot. So oh God. And I just want to like go give this woman a hug, and I feel like horrible that she, not horrible, but like I feel sad that she's there alone. And then it's like making me think about, my parents' mortality. And then there's like another woman, this lady. Ow, I just bent my finger and it hurt really bad. Holy shit. Oh my God. Jesus. And then there's this other woman, and she has like one of the little like barf buckets, and she has like an IV going in, and like it was literally too much for my, and I can like smell the throw up, and I'm like highly sensitive, and I'm sitting there just like surreal, absolutely surreal, where like I don't have anyone there. I don't even like at this point know who to call. So a friend comes to meet me later, but I basically went through a nervous system collapse, and my body starts shaking. I just uncontrollable tears. And this is the place in which like, I don't want to be strong. I don't want to have it together. I don't want to be like thinking like it's been too much, really. And there's so much like I haven't even shared. Ironically, I shared it all in this podcast that I recorded Tuesday that I didn't release. But so I come home, a friend comes over, cooks. I'm feeling like, okay, I'm like just every emotion, exhaustion beyond. I'm glad to be home. And then my friend leaves. I go to sleep. I slept for a long time, and I wake up and just completely this morning, completely freaking shattered. But also like, okay, like I'm proud of myself for just getting things done, trusting my intuition. So here I am, like once again, like mentally preparing myself that I have surgery today because I thought I did. And I'm like, all right, sun is shining, put on something cozy and soft. And so to wrap the story up, I get to the hospital. So now I've been there 3 times in 3 days. And I see the hand doctor, and he looks at my finger and tells me about the surgery that they're going to do, where they have to like open it up a lot more. And it's like, it's your pinky. It's tiny. It's a tiny injury compared to some people like, you get in these huge accidents. The difference, and I think I get why they kind of treat it so intensely, is because if I hadn't have gone in as kind of soon as I did, or if I didn't have surgery as soon as I'm going to, your nerve can die. You can then get like chronic pain. And he said even I might not have complete feeling in my finger for the rest of my life. And so they take these things, they take almost like the minor or smaller surgeries as intensely as these bigger ones. Obviously it's not life-threatening in any way, shape, or form. So it's been a lot to process, and it's been really lonely. And oh God. Yeah, this is like the vulnerable side that maybe I don't share as often, but like, I don't even want to say this word strong, but like, I have a certain level of confidence because I'm just used to doing things. And then there's times though, not just times, but like I'm human like everyone else. And this is scary. It's fucking terrifying. I am like mentally now I'm like, okay, preparing myself again, like big surgery, general anesthetic, like they're knocking me under completely. I'm going to have a cast on. I just started up ballet again after 8 months. And I'm like, I don't know if I can continue ballet. I told you, like, I just signed up for a gym. I was so excited to like start doing yoga again every day. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so it's hard not to get down on myself and question, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what changes do I need to make? Because I feel like I'm doing everything that I can. So anyways, I wanted to share with you guys some of the spiritual side. And this is really the part of the podcast that if for like none of the other stuff really matters. It's just, it's my life. It's what's going on. But this is the piece where I think is maybe more interesting for all of you, that The Body Keeps Score. That's a phenomenal book that I highly recommend. What's kind of behind that is that if we don't listen to what the signs from the universe, like some people, for example, say like cancer just happened all of a sudden. And it's like I remember yesterday I was sitting in the urgent care and the doctor was asking this one woman, like, okay, so you have a headache and chest pain. Like, how often does it happen? And she said every day. And he said, okay, so how long have you been having these headaches? And she said, every day for 4 months. And so that's this sort of thing where like the body is trying to tell you something needs to change. And the universe the fact that I'm right-handed and I write with, for like a living, I use my computer, I do all of these things. I mean, the universe is telling me to slow the fuck down. Let's put it that way. But I wanted to share some of the more spiritual, emotional, body related meanings. So this is kind of a mix of Louise Hay's and her book, You Can Heal Your Life. It is amazing. What she did is really popularized the idea and kind of understanding that specific body parts reflect emotions and life themes. And as I explained this, like, at least for me, I'm like mind blown. And she kind of goes into like right versus left, front, back. And then Carolyn Myss, I think that's how you say it. Her book, Anatomy of the Spirit, is so good. And I have both of these books. And so I'm like, well, now that I'm going to be in recovery, I'm going to go back and reread them with more of my free time that I didn't have. But she talks really about like the energy systems, and she talks about like the meridians. So it's kind of a mix of what I'm going to share is a mix of those two and her things of talking about like chi and flow and energy, and then also just like traditional like metaphysical anatomy. So there's like Hinduism and Eastern medicine. So this, what I'm about to share, is kind of a mix of all of this, but I'm going to do a breakdown of my injury specifically. And as I share this, just think about your own life of what is your body trying to say to you, or what signs are you getting? So the body is reflecting inner emotional states, and the right side relates to more masculine. The left side is feminine. So the right side is giving, action, the outer world, more masculine, career, productivity, responsibility, how you show up and move forward in your life. And so my injury is on the right side, and I have been feeling very much in my masculine. I've been feeling like go, like action oriented, which I'm fucking exhausted about. So the hand represents capability, control, holding on, grasping life, and an injury to the hand is often interpreted as tension around needing to do everything yourself, feeling responsible for outcomes, over efforting, and holding too tightly instead of allowing. Now, how interesting that throughout this podcast, I've been saying like, I'm tired of being in control. Or not in control, but like strong. And I'm tired of just all of these things that have happened, and I've been moving and this and quirk. Like it's a lot, right? So that's no wonder how funny, ha ha ha, like things universe about the hand. Now, the pinky finger specifically is trust, communication, relationships, subtle emotional bonds, feeling supported, asking for and receiving help. Now, what did I say literally right before all of this is that I don't feel like I have support. I don't feel like the people that I've been asking for support are not giving it back to me. And those relationships, I'm feeling very lonely. And so how interesting. So then the pinky is the most relational and vulnerable. And that is exactly what I'm feeling right now. Pinky issues are often framed as feeling unsupported, feeling alone in responsibility, difficulty trusting that others will show up, feeling small, overlooked, or dismissed. And it's not dramatic, it's subtle and persistent. And that's like, if we could just name the theme of this podcast, that's exactly everything that I've said is I'm feeling all of those things. And so then I have two tendons that are severed. So tendons, the spiritual meaning is they connect the bone to muscle, Nikki, they connect muscle to bone. And so they allow the movement to translate into action. So spiritually, tendons are said to represent flexibility, willingness to change direction, and ease of movement through life. Now, tendon injuries are symbolically linked to forcing forward movement, pushing when flexibility is needed, resistance to slowing down or altering course. And so this aligns with kind of everything that I've been going through and dealing with. Now, nerves are communication pathways, and spiritually, nerve issues are associated with overstimulation, anxiety, overloaded nervous system, feeling unsafe or on edge. What did I say at like the beginning of the podcast? That I feel like ice, like very fragile. Too much input, not enough protection. And nerve damage or numbness is interpreted as emotional overwhelm, sensory overload, a system that has gone into protective shutdown. That's literally that's it. That's everything that I have experienced and then some. So putting this all together, is the right side is issues around action, responsibility, and forward movement. The hand is agency and doing, right? Control. Then there's the pinky, which is trust, support, relationships. There's tendons, flexibility versus force. There's nerves, which is nervous system overload. And that's what I mentioned to you guys, that I basically went into a nervous system collapse when I was at the hospital. And so this is kind of my doing has exceeded the support that I'm receiving, that responsibility has outweighed receiving. My nervous system has been running beyond capacity, and that life has imposed a physical stop where internal stopping was not possible. And that is without a doubt 100% correct. This is literally forcing me to slow the fuck down, to really evaluate who I'm giving my energy to, who I'm asking like help from, and if they're not showing up, like why am I continuing to have that person in my life, for example? Like it's teaching me a lot. It's literally forcing me to slow down in everything that I'm doing. I've had to sit with emotional pain that is far beyond, like the emotional pain over the last few days, and feeling the anger, the sadness, the fear, feeling alone, you name it. It's like just been the kaleidoscope of emotions. And if you're a client of mine, the emotional wheel, like I felt literally all of them. And so then I had a follower send this to me, which is really what got me thinking about all of this and the spiritual side, where I haven't really had as much time to like sit down and be as spiritual and those mindful practices. Like it's just been so much fucking action that I'm like, I don't want to do the action. And I'm like, I'm tired. I want to be supported. Like and so the universe is kind of forcing this. But this wonderful follower had said, the right hand carries masculine energy, action, responsibility, control, and how we do life. Yet the little finger is linked to truth, vulnerability, and communication. Symbolically, it can point to old ways of holding it all together, pushing through, or staying strong, finally being released. Now you tie into, isn't this interesting that this happened right before the end of the 2025 ending with the Chinese New Year? I'm like, awesome. And so she wrote, in that sense, this feels like something leaving your system, not happening to you, but it's the final release after everything 2025 asked of you. And literally 2025, it was a year of me having to show up and do and be strong and be protective of myself and set boundaries. So with all of this, it's just interesting too, because 2025 is year of the snake, right? The shedding. So it's kind of like, what else am I shedding? So she continues, almost a sign that you no longer have to operate from pressure or self-protection. I'm like, please, universe. What's opening now is the opposite. More softness, more honesty, more willingness to receive and be supported as you step into 2026. A shift from force to flow, from control to trust. You are not cursed. You're shedding what's done, making space for a truer, gentler way of being. And I'm like, I will take that. And this is the other thing I really love about my followers and the community. I love when you all write to me and share these things. I love it. I also, because I had posted saying, I'm like, am I cursed? It's just I had a friend say to me, he's like, did a black cat walk in front of you, Nikki? And I'm like, I don't know. And so now in my mind, I was thinking of the people that maybe set a curse on me. And I'm like, in actuality, it really could be that this is the final countdown. But yeah, I think just reflecting on all of this I want to take the next few days to kind of just sit with it, because I've been saying, I'm like, I want to go on a vacation. I want to go on a trip. I don't want to have as much responsibility. I'm overloaded. I'm overwhelmed. And I'm really even to the point today where I had to wash my sheets. They were way overdue. I don't have help. And so it's just making me kind of evaluate how much I do, how much I ask for help. Am I asking the wrong people? Where can I allow myself to surrender more? And I'm feeling very, very exhausted. I'm feeling very humbled. And I'm just, I don't know. It's been a wild ride. It's been this has been such an intense week. I mean, it's been such a fucking intense week, you guys. I don't even know how to describe it. And as I said, the day that I cut my hand, this is how interesting all of that, the symbolical stuff of the right side and the masculine energy and the action and the trust and not feeling supported. I mean, you can't make it up. And so it's funny. Maybe anyone who's listening to this, you can tell me the meaning, but I have surgery on February 2nd. So 2/2, which is 4 in numerology. So maybe that means something. And then we're in 2026. But yeah, that's what happened. That's the lowdown. I think this episode, it was supposed to be 30 minutes. I rambled and I talked, and I'm definitely I can feel it. I'm getting down on myself and kind of beating myself up a little bit, just being like, Nikki, can't you do anything right? Even the podcast, people don't need to hear this much of your fucking rambling. But that's also part of the thing that I face is softening up and being okay with what I'm doing. And it's just, I don't know. I'm feeling tired and vulnerable and scared. And I'm feeling I'm doing I'm feeling I'm doing everything wrong. And I know that's not true, but it's just been a challenging year and humbling. And yeah, so anyways, that's the story, you guys. And I have a episode next week with the trauma expert. It was a phenomenal conversation, and I'm going to go back and listen to that one because clearly there's been a lot of traumas and triggers that have been kind of stirred up in the pot. But thanks for listening. I hope that I don't even know if you found any value in this or not, but just know, like, I'm human and you're human, and I don't know, maybe this is just the message that I want to say is be kind to people, because like you really don't know what they're going on or what's going on behind the scenes. So all right, I'm gonna stop the rambling. I love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support on Instagram, and until next week, here's to a sharper life.